Hi everyone, Scorp here. I actually finished the last run of Duelist of the Roses Redux 2. Today I'm here on Redux 2. Today I want to show off how I like to actually build my twin-headed Thunder Dragon decks. I'm going to show a 600 deck cost, an 800 deck cost, and a 1000 deck cost deck. So we'll go through 3 duels, and we'll try to show off each of the decks. They are pretty strong. The 600 deck cost definitely makes some concessions to get that low, but pretty solid. Definitely a strong contender compared to some of these other decks that I've shown in the past. The 800 deck cost deck is a little bit more of a middle ground, something more that I would go for more often. But unfortunately, this first deck, it sometimes just draws like this, which is just unfortunate. It's a 3-card fusion, so instead of just doing the fuse 2 cards and instantly have a twin-headed, to get to this kind of deck cost, we have to make some sort of concessions. So this is the kind of concession that I chose to make. Yeah, that's not a good hand. This will be bigger. Now we just have to draw well. That does take Dragon Treasure, though, by the way. So. I didn't check if it took Horn of Light. I assume it does. But the Thunder leader powers are actually super solid in this mod. Honestly, more solid than I'd probably want to make them, but that's okay. So yeah, this does take Horn of Light. I am hoping the Skullgun attacks straightforward. It should with this guy's AI, because that's what his AI likes to do. He likes to just take this column here and go straight forward. And now we just need to draw a rock, finally. But we all know how my draw RNG is, so time to not draw a rock. Oh, we drew a rock. But the problem is I can't fuse Thunder Dragon into it. Awesome. Yeah, this is like the problem with Thunder Dragon. It's just not good enough. Just drop this. It'll fix things. So basically I'm trying to play all of the good cards that I can use to do 3-card fusions. Now I'm not going to have enough summoning power to do this next turn too, so we're having a great time here. But on the other hand, we do have the zombie hate leader power. I believe. So we reduce them by 500. Yeah. I am really needing to draw a dragon now. I'm honestly kind of low on a lot of things, but it's okay. We're getting there. We're slowly chipping away this opponent. Unfortunately, we just haven't had the one blowout fusion that we need to just win the game. Or drawn a Thunder Diane, which I could probably just win the game with by itself, so we'll get there, though. Otherwise, after this, our next video is going to be a video on using a crush deck. So I'm just going to give myself all the cards. There is absolutely no way I'm farming out a crush deck. It's just not going to happen. There's no good way to do it in this mod, so I'm not going to bother, because it will not be good. Ooh, snake hair. But yeah, as you can see there, I could easily fuse out the twin-headed. And I'm using some pretty solid other cards in the deck. So I have lethal here two ways. Muka Muka itself is lethal. I can also do this triple fusion for twin-headed. I could also fuse on top of the Violent Rain and then use the Muka Muka next turn if this wasn't going to be lethal. Yeah, this is a whole lot of sorry bones. Rest in peace. Okay, so yeah, you permanently spellbound this creature, but unfortunately you didn't put your creature in defense, so you're dead. Snakehair is one of the best zombies in the game. Unfortunately, the AI doesn't know how to use it. Which is pretty much the story of the AI's life. You can give it all of the best cards that you ever want to, and it doesn't matter how broken their deck is, they can still find a way to lose. Okay, so that's a win with this deck. I'll just go through it real quick, just in case anyone wants to copy it. So, it's 3 Black Land, 3 Baby Dragon, 3 Lesser Dragon. If you're playing like a Gemini mod or Redux 1, instead of Black Land, you're going to want to use the Wind Dragon, 2-headed Behemoth, because those mods make this thing level 3 like it is in the trading card game. So that is a very big upgrade because it lets you do a lot more of these fusions for 3 stars. Electric Lizard has one of the best effects. We used it to pretty good effect in that last game. For Thunders, Leon also has a really good effect if you're going against Keith. And then Kamari Karizo is cheap. So that's it for the Thunders. Next up, 2 Violent Rains. These are terrain changers as well as fusion targets to go into Sea King Dragon off of your dragons, and then from there you can go into Twin-Headed. 3 Muka Muka, 3 Pathedric, and a Morphine Jar. This was done to keep the cost down. If you can go over 600 deck cost, put the 3rd Violent Rain in. Call of the Haunted for cost, 9 equipped, and 3 Curse Breakers. Not much room in this deck if you're going 600 deck cost, but it'll get the job done. Next up, we have an 800 deck cost deck. It's slightly under, and we'll go ahead and win with it, and then I'll go through the cards. And then we'll do the same thing with the 1000 deck cost deck. Tried to make these a little bit different from each other, while at the same time feeling a little bit samey. I mean, it's the same, like, principle of card, but at the same time, the decks are quite strong, and they're strong for slightly different fusions. This is probably the weakest version against an opponent that goes first. But hey, at least that's not a Jiraiya, so... Well... I was gonna Curse Breaker it when I saw that card first. Then I saw Jowls, and decided the double-equipped creature was just too juicy to pass up. Jowls is one of the most broken cards in the entire game. If you have it, use it. And especially in this mod, it is extremely cheap. Ooh, ow. Sir, rude. Into a Chiraikumo? Good thing he didn't draw that first turn. Although, if he drew it first turn, he was just lost. Okay. If we go here, we'll be good. This deck should be slightly more consistent than the previous deck. It at least is more consistent at pulling out the really good cards that aren't just twin-headed. So I say that, and then this is my draw. If only cards like this took Bright Castle. I know it's a dark, so there's absolutely no way. Unless you were playing like Forbidden Memories in this case. Bright Castle works on everything. Which works great when you put that logic into this game until you realize that you just made dark really bad. Or you made lights really bad, because then you just got rid of an equip for them effectively. Well, this will trade. Ooh, Javelin Beetle Pact, huh? Oh, that's gonna hurt. Good thing I am on Wasteland. And that's out of his leader range. And we get a Destiny draw. Unfortunately, this is not lethal. Well, it is lethal. It's just not lethal in one attack. Well, sometimes you don't draw a single Thunder, and you still get bailed out because you have a Secretary of Defense deck leader that can get you a Destiny draw. That was really unfortunate. Not what I wanted to show off, but hey, we got there. Also, Weevil played some of the best cards in his deck, so I like to see that. We can show off the special slot rare. If you 3 in a row any ritual card in this mod, you get the creature that it is, the final form of the ritual, which is great. We're just gonna go to like Margaret, Mai here, and we're gonna blow her away because I kind of want to actually show drawing a decent hand for once. So hopefully we can draw a decent hand. Now it's time to draw only Thunders, right? Nope, this is not an only Thunder hand, so... Now, if she didn't move 2 spaces, I would flip it face up and move it straight at her. Even then, this is just over. The Furious Sea King is kind of a concession, so if you have more deck cost, you can definitely use other things, but this fight's over. Not even a chance. Goodbye, Mai. So that's what happens when you draw a decent hand. And yes, you could make this deck like better with boomies and stuff, but I think that was good enough. Okay, so now we'll just go to our deck. I'm gonna show that off real quick. So we have Blue Eyes as the leader. You can use literally any level 7 or higher dragon here. I personally prefer Harpy's Pet Dragon just because it's really easy to level. Because you can easily put 6 on the field without any trouble. Next up, 3 Cursive Dragon, 3 Bee Dragon Jungle King, and 3 Parrot Dragon. All of these just fuse with any Thunder in the game and automatically make Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. Okay. Any thunder except Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. I'm not going to comment on that. 3-eye armor because it's one of the most broken cards in the game. 3 Thunder Nyan, 3 Lala Leon, and Kami Karizo. Nyan basically replaces the need for terrain change cards in this deck, so it's nice. 1 Furious D King just because I needed to hit the deck cost. And it makes water terrain, so that's nice. If you could go higher, maybe an extra trap or something, or an extra Ancient Tree of Enlightenment. First time we have a tech card for dealing with people that like to use traps. Jowls of Dark Demise is disgusting. Magical Neutralizing Force Field for all of those mirror wall spammers that you hate. 9 Equipped and 3 Curse Breakers, and then a Goblin Fan because we all hate Ruryoku. As well as Burn players. Oh, whoops. I just didn't switch decks. Real quick, we'll switch decks. And I think we'll do probably 2 duels. I don't know. Whatever I feel like, right? So this next deck is an Aqua Dragon deck. Actually, let's just go beat up Kaiba. That sounds like a good time. He's always been a punching bag in these games, so... He's a relatively scary punching bag in this game, though. Okay. So this deck is a little more expensive, and it's definitely targeted for obliterating machines a little bit more. So our leader powers are useful for some of the materials, as well as just useful overall for making the fusions. So it is a relatively nice deck for that. Oh, that is going to be a very big Blue Eyes. Or something. The main concern with this deck in particular is it's a little bit more pricey on the summoning power front than the others. But we do get to pull off a little fun here by going like this. Because my Thunder Nyan makes me able to hit directly here. Now, you'll notice that I just missed lethal. Please don't comment on that. Never missed lethal, just extended BM. Okay, we'll just power this up once. Go like this. I kind of figured it was an Air Force. But that's fine, that means that it's out of the way. For the true power of this deck, which is I can do stuff like this. And this deck is extremely good at changing terrain, which is what really sets it apart from the other 2 decks. And this deck also makes Aqua Dragon quite often. It uses Aqua Dragon, it utilizes the Sea Serpents, it utilizes a lot of stuff to just make fights easier. I don't know why I'm doing the slots. Oh, I wanted the alternate art on Karibo, that's why. But yeah, these decks are completely customizable, and if you want to go higher deck cost, there are many options to go up higher. But this is where I'd start for 1,000 deck cost. So again, Aqua Dragon. So unfortunately, there aren't 3 Sea Serpents that work for this fusion, so I just use Parrot Dragon because it's the cheapest of the dragons that are options here. 5 stars, so it's either Parrot Dragon or Cursed Dragon, and I don't really want to make Wastelands, so Cursed Dragon's kind of out. Eye Armor, again, you're just going to see it a lot in decks because it's 2 stars, and it's usually like a 2,000. It's usually like a 4,000 attack beat stick for 2 stars. It's just not okay. 3 Aqua Dragons. These are 4 stars with an Aqua Dragon deck leader, which definitely helps. Same with Sea King Dragons. These both do fuse with all the Thunders to make Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. Then you have the Nayans. Again, this is for changing the field, and since I'm spending 4 stars on basically all my fusion materials anyways, it doesn't matter that I'm spending 4 stars on this. It is a little bit more expensive, but if you want to, you can just switch it out for Common Karizo. Electric Lizard and Lala Leon still have really good effects. And then 3 Burrowing Ocean Snakes. These things change terrain like it's going out of style. And on top of that, they fuse with Sea King Dragons and Parrot Dragons to make Aqua Dragons. So they're a little bit expensive, they cost a lot of deck cost, it's less than Umi in those mods, so still cheaper than that, and they create a ton of sea terrain if you just have to play one by itself. So it's like a 2600, it always is on its favored terrain, it's great. 3 Jowls. We saw what we did to Weevil. He literally didn't have anything but Juragamo. He was just dead to that Acid Crawler. Little healing. We had room for it, so I might as well put that in. Magical Neutralizing Force Field. Dimension Hole, since we're using a flow leader, this can just speed up your clock on your opponent by a couple turns. You draw this turn 1, you throw it, you move forward, you play it forward. Next turn you move it forward and activate it, and then you move your deck leader forward, and you're literally right on top of your opponent to blast him in the face. Again, 9 equipped, because why else what are we doing if we're not playing 9 equipped? 6 of these all work on Aqua Dragon, so that's nice. And then a Goblin Fan, because, again, I really hate burn deck. Well, if you guys have any questions about these decks or want to know more, leave the questions down below. I think I pretty well covered everything on these. And let me know if you like content like this with a like, and try out decks like this for yourself. Decks like this are not terribly hard to put together. It's pretty easy to reincarnate for these cards, so... Except for Eye Armors, these things are impossible to find. And Jowls, I'm sorry. Rest in peace. Although, if you really want to look for them, just put in the Gemini mod and then switch back. It's easier way to get them. Because, there's much less cards in the reincarnation pool for cards like these. So, yep, that's it for today. Thank you all for watching, and have a nice day.